Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and I've got a question for you. I want to know if you're container gardening and if you're having any issues, let's say with squash and even your tomatoes, and what kind of issues you're having. I may have a fix that could fix many issues. It's something I've brought up a few times, and it's something I have not discussed yet. And the reason was there was a problem at what time, and you'll know when I talk about it, you'll go, oh, I know why you didn't talk about it. And that was the reason. I want to bring out something that I don't believe anybody has ever brought up before. I have never seen it anywhere. It's something I have known about for years. It works for a lot of different things, not just plants. And I'm trying to find out what your issues are. Like if you're container gardening, does your plant start to grow and then fizzle out? Do they start to grow really big and then slow down? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, in this particular garden, this is like my favorite garden right now. Things will change as the weather warms up, but this garden is my favorite. I haven't used it in here. I haven't done this procedure in here, but I have on a couple plants on my deck. And I did do it to another plant that I had growing in my rainbow garden that wasn't doing well at all. What happened was I started the seeds in the house, and then this one got real spindly and it didn't look good. And I thought, oh, this isn't going to make it because it was long and skinny and the leaves were yellowish and looking terrible. So I went ahead, put it in my rainbow garden, and now it has bursted into life in a matter of a week. I want to know if you have blossom end rot. I want to know if your squash get really big, your zucchinis get really big. I'm not talking really about spaghetti squash, acorn, any of those, because those take time. They vine, like what's going on in the truck bed with the fig leaf gourd, which is a type of squash. Those take time till they even have fruit. I'm talking about your fast-growing plants. Maybe you're growing in a really small container and you've noticed that the plant got really big and then stopped. Different things. The leaves aren't bright and green. And I'm not talking about things like, sometimes, let's see over here, there might be a couple zucchini that don't look that good. Those are the golden zucchini. That one actually does look pretty good. When they don't get fertilized. They don't get pollinated, I should say. And then they're small. That I can't help you with, because that is either you have to hand pollinate or you have to hope you have a lot of bees and get them pollinated. But this, what I'm going to talk about very soon, won't help that. What I do that is very odd and out of the box, and again, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't use it a lot because I'm composting in place so heavily that I use 18-gallon totes and they work absolutely perfect. I keep the holes up about an inch. It retains some water. And on the very bottom, there's almost a constant plant fertilizer because it's all broken down on the bottom. The roots go straight down the bottom when they need it, especially on hot days, and they grab the water, and the water is so enriched. It's like having a constant food source. And then in here, I stopped putting buckets to collect water. I just put plants underneath. I don't overwater, but they do drip out. Don't kid yourself. And that's why these plants on the bottom, including all my geranium cuttings, are doing good. I'm trying to find out how you're growing because I do believe, let's let the helicopter go by, that most of the issues that this will take care of will be, I'm going to say mainly in container gardening, mainly. But can it be used if you're in a large raised bed? Yes. Oh, yes. It's got to be used carefully too. So it's not something that you're just going to run out and go, wow, I can use this. Nope. You'll have to think about it. Now I will discuss that one again into it. I believe that this will help. I don't want it overused. I don't want it abused. And some people, it will cost you to get it. And then there'll be some of you that can get it for absolutely free. Tell me your issues. Tell me what problems you've got. And if I get enough of the issues that I think this particular unusual product will, if it will work for you, then I'll go ahead and do the video. I hope it doesn't cause a problem. That's what my biggest thing was. I was going to release it last year, and actually I'm going to have to say Gary stopped me and said, no, you can't. And stepping back, I knew we couldn't. There was no way I could do this. I've known about this for years. And again, I don't want you to think, oh, that's why your garden grows. No, I haven't even used it in here. This is all done by composting leaves and weeds from around. But I'm looking for the smaller gardener that maybe doesn't want to buy plant food, or the plant food didn't do anything for you. I've tried the Epsom salt. Oh my gosh, was that a disaster? We are on clay, and our clay obviously has salt in it. How do I know? Because we've dug up areas around here and have found seashells. So at one time, this place, as high as it is, was once underwater. And I threw the smallest amount of Epsom salt on some of my peppers and lost everything. So you've got to be careful with a lot of products. This product, I know, will not hurt anybody. This has got nothing to do with me. I didn't invent it. It's been around forever. But it's more natural than anything you could buy as far as fertilizer. I'm going to have to say, I think I can say it's non-chemical. And then you can get the product in the fashion in which you want. Though I will recommend some for certain reasons. But again, if only a few you come back and say, I've got a little bit of blossom end rot, or my tomatoes didn't grow that good. Oh, it works for tomatoes. It works for everything. It works for more than plants. Then I'll go ahead and I'll explain. I want to sit down and explain why I didn't want to release it last year or the year before. And then you'll understand. And then you can decide if you want to try it, if you're having a problem. For goodness sakes, if you're not having any problems, do not use this when I do decide to release it. I don't want you to use it. There's no use for using it if you're not having an issue. Like I said, I have no issues in this garden here. My chair garden, this is not the rainbow garden. The chair garden, the first one I set up as far as the chair garden years ago, I did have one in the front yard, one chair. I was so excited about it, I set this up. Not once bit of this thing I'm going to talk about went in here. That's not to say I won't put it in, because maybe as the season goes on, it is a stress reliever when it gets super hot. I've noticed that. There's a lot of things, but if you don't use it right, you could have issues too. But if you do what I say, and then you can come up with your own way, because once you figure out how to use it, then I think you're going to go, oh my goodness. This has been a lifesaver for so many things that I'm not going to get into. It's just something I've known about for many, many, many years. And it's been really good for many, many, many things. All right. Give me your thoughts on what issues you're having, mainly with, work for cucumbers too. What is going on? Do you have blossom end rot? Do you have plants that are just fizzling out? That's a big thing. If they're fizzling out and you're not, like, you're getting them to grow really big and then all of a sudden they start to slow down, zucchini will do that for a lot of people. If there's enough of you, I will go ahead and release this. I will risk releasing this, something I've known about. I think there's only 3 people that know I do this. Nobody else does. And once I release it, everybody will. And some of you might step back and go, oh, she's crazy. And that's fine. Everything in gardening, everything in life is our opinion. It's not that mysterious, but when you step back, and it's got to be done right, you'll go, oh my goodness. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Okay, now people really think I'm crazy.